You okay looking at yourself? Are you okay?
What do you mean? Am I okay?
You're looking at yourself. You have to look at yourself on camera.
I love
to
looking
make sure.
at myself.
I evidently.
I really.
That was a long pause walking over here just to look at yourself for 5 minutes. Are you okay? You prettied up?
I think so.
Okay.
What do you think?
Like,
I'm gonna ask you the question you always ask me. Am I more sexy than fine or fine than sexy?
I love. Now you're coming around.
Now I'm still in materials.
Now you're coming around. Neither. I'm the only fine and sexy one on the show. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, you are.
Fair enough.
You're looking handsome.
Thank you.
I'll give you a handsome.
Thank you.
Fine and sexy is reserved.
I like your teeth.
Fine and sexy reserved for yours truly. Yes.
Right. Okay. Q&A episode 10.
Here we go.
10 weeks, D.
10 weeks, yeah. Loving it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know what you were waiting on me to. This is not 10. You thought I was going to say.
Because this will be the third week in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
You were blown away.
10. No, this
10
is
weeks
10.
ago by this brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Question number 1. Chris Mooring asks, what is your best moment in football besides being drafted and winning the Super Bowl?
Best moment in football. Man, there are so many, great moments, like individual moments. One that sticks out in particular is we're playing the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. We, it was a lot on the line late in the season, and it was, basically where we're going to get seeded in the playoffs. And a huge, huge game. And they were moving the ball down the field, got into the red zone. I think they were like on the 10 or, maybe the 10-yard line or something like that. And Randall Cunningham was the starting quarterback, and he, looked my way, and then he tried to take his eyes a different way to try to trick me, and he threw the ball out in the flat, and I didn't bite, man. I went and got it.
You went and picked it off?
I went and picked it off. And
is this the famous where the O lineman almost caught you?
You know what? The O lineman, the D lineman. Our D line. This is the famous Chad Hennings. No, please. They weren't even in the picture, brother. They weren't. There wasn't even. There was no green in the picture.
In this moment right now, I need you to insert that clip.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Because you had to jump over Cunningham.
I jump over. I make him miss.
No.
And then I had to.
He flailed at you.
And then the Philly turf caught on fire somehow.
See, I'm thinking
because I hit I-95 on the way to the other end zone.
So I'm thinking a different highlight.
Give me some love.
The one I'm thinking of was a home game. Was that whatever y'all called it, Cowboys Stadium? Whatever.
Yeah,
that's what
someone tried.
You picked it off like they were driving in. It was near the goal line. You picked it off, and then you went and jumped over Randall Cunningham and took it. That
was Randall Cunningham. That was you got them all mixed up. This was in Philadelphia.
This happened like 90 years ago.
Can I tell the story? Can I tell the story? A man asked a question.
Go ahead.
I answered the question. That was one of the defining moments in my career. But there were so many others, man. There were so many others that, like, I still remember the big play in the Super Bowl that Larry Brown made. That maybe it wasn't an individual defining moment, but as a team, it defined like who we were as a team, because everyone always expected the big name guys to make a play, and Larry stepped up, made 2 huge plays in the Super Bowl and became the MVP. Man, it just tells you anybody can get there and be the hero on any given day, and Larry Brown was that guy on the biggest stage. So that's one of the most defining. And Larry went through that year and lost his son, his newborn child, earlier in that season, man. So it came back full circle, man. Yeah. It was just a great feeling.
Yeah, it's interesting. You had how many years did you play in the NFL? 13 years?
Yeah.
And then you obviously had a college career, high school career. So all that football, and the best moment was somebody else's big game for you. So that's interesting.
Because it's just life, man. I mean, the guy never stopped chopping wood, and the guy just, emotionally he was down. His entire family was down. We all rallied behind him, but there's nothing like, losing a child, man.
Yeah.
And, through that process, man, he could continue to fight and just great end of the story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. John Casaberry, what if football didn't work out for you? What was your backup plan?
Boy.
That's a great question.
John, Slanging? No, I'm just joking. I don't know. I think, from where I came from, there were two options. One was just to go to work. Whatever it was that was, and I had a lot of friends, and I'm not taking, this is not a shot at them, but a lot of friends didn't have aspirations and dreams to go to college. They just graduated from high school and did what their parents did, got a job. I think mine would have been, I would have joined the military, hands down, because there was no way that I could have survived living in that city with my makeup. And I'm an extremist in a lot of ways. With my makeup, I wouldn't have survived in that city because I would have been drawn probably to the wrong things and been some bad outcomes. So my thought process, much like my older brother, Todd, he went right into the service. He didn't even graduate. He went through high school, and before he even walked, the week before he walked, he took off. He left. Yeah, because he knew he needed to get out. Yeah. And I would have followed in the same path.
Interesting. So knowing your story, it's almost a two-part question, in that answers to me what you would do if football hadn't worked out from a high school standpoint.
Yes.
So in other words, if you hadn't had the opportunity to go to college, you'd go in the military. Now, let's say you did go to, so high school worked out, you were all everything. You went to college and played at Arizona State. All that played out. The only thing different now is you didn't make it to the NFL. Yeah. Then what do you think you'd be doing with a college degree?
Yeah, that's even, I don't know, because my eyes were opened up to so many other options when I went into college. Yeah. It wasn't just the military, and it wasn't, being a cop. It became more of, I've watched, I was introduced and saw different opportunities as far as business, as far as real estate. I saw a lot of things
in college. In
college, because I was I was at a school where, some of the boosters that I ended up meeting were business owners, and I was drawn to that. I was drawn to the fact that you could own your own business and you can have some flexibility with your time as long as you worked hard and play. You can work hard and play hard. And I think I would have probably gone down a road of corporate America, and then eventually went on to be an entrepreneur through that process. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that 3 year, because you were there 3 years?
I was there 4 years. I graduated in 3.5 years. Okay. I was there for 4 years.
That 4 year period of your life just gave you all that new perspective, all those new opportunities. It opened your eyes to some. Yeah. If you had stopped just at high school, you're going down the military path. You stopped just at college, all of a sudden, now because of what you're exposed to,
exposure is
it just opened your eyes to everything.
It's hope, man. Yeah. And and that's the thing, in the inner city, and in my C5 program here in C5 Texas here in Dallas, like, we mentor kids, but a lot of those kids have never seen an office building. Oh. They don't know what corporate America is. They don't know anything outside of their little bubble that they're in. So it's always great to expose kids, not only my kids, but other kids to different opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm all for pull yourself up by your bootstraps, work hard. I'm all for that mentality, but I also recognize and have been exposed to the idea that you also have to be seen. Yes. Or see opportunities.
See opportunities, exactly.
You have to know what's possible. Mm-hmm. And so that bunch of organizations exposing those kids to what's possible is what they need. Yeah. Because, again, hard work is great, but if you don't know any different, what are you going to do with that hard work? If you're listening to the show out there, and I know that was a great question, but I don't want to be off the mark here, but get back in the community, serve those kids, give them opportunities. With C5 Texas, what we do is we expose them to every different professional, doctors, lawyers, real estate, entrepreneurs, whatever it is. Just get out there and expose some of these young kids. It is so gratifying to go through that process. Yeah, and this is maybe a weird analogy for what we're talking about, but it speaks to the power of when you see something and you see that it's possible. Yeah. All of a sudden the barriers are broken down. It's like the 4-minute mile. Yeah. For the longest time that was never broken. However many years it took to break that, and now thousands of people have broken or whatever the number is. The point is, nobody thought it was possible until it was.
That's right.
And now now there's that confidence behind it. So same thing with these kids. That's right. Give them that confidence behind it, and that exposure. That's awesome. Leandro Baldenegro
Are you butchering his name?
Well, I might be.
Leandro.
We're getting into some hairy territory with that name. I might let you take over that one. I like this question. This is a great question. What is the restaurant you have to go to when you're back home visiting Phoenix? What was your favorite place to eat as a kid in Maryville?
Oh, man.
I love that question.
Oh, man. I can't. Question. You know what? We didn't have any money to go eat at restaurant. Honestly, man.
I don't mean this negatively at all. Right. That was my first thought. I was like, I wonder how much he really actually went out to eat.
We didn't go out to eat, man. Mom, you know what? The best dinner place was Mom's cooking. And it didn't matter what it was. That's what we had. I can remember, though, there's one place that we used to go to called Rito's.
Rito's?
Rito's.
What kind of food
Mexican
is Rito's?
Food. Oh, dude. To this day, every time I go to Phoenix, I stop over at Rito's off of Roosevelt and get a burrito. And
is it like a hole in the wall?
It's a house,
I love
brother.
it. That's the best.
It's just a house. Now, things have changed with my body.
Your digestive tract is a little different.
Digestive tract. But I get myself worked up because I will not eat before I leave. When I get on that plane, I'm not eating. I get down there. It's the first thing I do is go to Rito's. And it knocks me back. But the food is just great. So I would say that. But again, man, growing up, I just didn't, we grew up in an area where fast food restaurants were all over the place. They were prevalent. And I would never, I'm not going to recommend that. So.
Since I have a tendency to turn everything into about me,
yes,
I'm going to follow that up with, there's a place in Abilene, same idea. It's called La Popular, and it's like breakfast burritos, and it's hole in the wall. I mean, it's literally every time I go back home, I have to go there. At least once, sometimes twice.
Is it only breakfast, or they do?
It's only they do lunch and stuff. I've never had anything other than breakfast burritos, and they've got a big variety.
Breakfast burritos are like. Oh, it's special, man.
And that's my big complaint about living where we live is there's no good places like that. There's no hole in the wall places. You got to go all the way down to South Dallas.
Yeah.
We need to bring something up north.
Okay. Next question with zoning.
Sorry. Since you said a lot of times your mom would cook, let's change the question a little bit. What was the best thing your mom used to
everything. Make? Like my mom could make a bologna sandwich, and it was for some reason.
That love, man. There's something about that love.
There's something about it, man. When we used to always say my mom put her foot into everything. She didn't bake. Baking.
She want a baker.
Yeah, baking. Cookies and all that wasn't our thing. But anything, chicken, beef. I'm talking stews. She used to make these stews, man, in these crock pots and do it all day. She'd start early in the morning, chop something, and it was quick. There was no measuring cup. Chop it up. Boom, throw it in and go.
It was a feel.
Greens, potato salad. Man, we used to.
Why'd you have to say greens and chicken?
Because that's how we grew up, man. I'm not holding back. What am I supposed to say? Oh, we ate filet meat. I didn't have a filet. I can't remember. I remember my first year in college having a filet.
I don't know if I've still had a filet. I don't know if I've had a filet to this day. I grew up very similar, believe it or not.
Yeah, you did.
Not in the inner city, but
you did.
Same mentality. We don't go out to eat.
Yeah.
And if you do go out to eat, there's no, you're getting water.
Yes.
And it's bare bone. We're sharing meals. It was very similar. So
drinking out of the same straw.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So my mom cooked all the time. That was, A, it saved us money, but B, man, I can remember most nights of the week we were at the family table together.
Yeah.
And that was before iPads and we would sit there and we would talk.
Right.
It's such a crazy idea.
Yeah.
Nowadays, no TV. My dad
Yeah.
was super strict about that. No TV on in the background. We were going to sit there and we were going to.
Yeah.
There were 6 of us.
Man,
so
those are good.
Yeah.
Those are great qualities to have. That's a great foundation to have.
Yes. Yeah. And that's something that I take. Now, obviously, technology's changed, and if you're out at a restaurant and your 3-year-old's throwing a fit, you got to do what you got to do. But maybe take the effort. Maybe take the effort and fix the behavior. But anyway, again, I don't know how to turn that into me. But last question.
You always flip it. You always flip it.
Oh, this is another. Man, these are great questions. Josh Allman, what's your favorite sports movie? Number 1. And what's your favorite movie of all time?
I'm not a movie guy, man. And
No?
I can't remember movies. My wife can remember every movie that she's ever watched and the actors and all that. That's a hard question. The one that pops up is Remember the Titans, right? That's the one that pops up. I think that's the last one I actually watched sports movies. I'm not big on the sports movies.
I'm not either. They're for the most part, they're pretty cheesy.
Yeah. So I'm not, but that's the one with Denzel because Denzel Washington is like one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
So that one, and then just like movies all together. Oh man, there's anything that Denzel's in, man.
Yeah.
I like, for some reason, his movies, like Training Day for me was just like.
John Q was on TV the other day. Remember that? Remember John Q?
Oh, John Q, yes.
Yeah, where he holds up the hospital?
Yes.
Oh, what a great movie. Based on a true story, they said.
No.
Yeah. Based on a true story. Now, obviously, I'm sure there's a lot of details they added for the movie, but yeah, based on a true story.
You know what I was, though, when I was a kid? You know what I loved? Star Trek, to me, was everything. You haven't even watched Star Trek, have you?
I'm not a nerd.
I'm telling you, I was a nerd. I was a nerd that grew up. I loved Star Trek. I couldn't, man, when I first saw it, I was just blown away.
What did you like about Star Trek?
The whole, just the whole space thing and the whole Odyssey.
You're talking about the TV show, right? That used to come
the
on?
movie.
Oh, the actual movie. Okay. There was a TV show about Star Trek.
No.
With the bald dude and the LeVar Arrington.
Did I say Star Wars or Star Trek?
No, you said Star Trek.
Okay, I'm sorry. Star Wars, not Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek. I was never a Trekkie. I was never a Trekkie. I just want to make sure I got that right. Star Wars is what I and I just loved the whole, Han Solo and Chewbacca, and there was something about that movie, and that was, even to the point where this is how big of a nerd I was as far as Star Wars was considered. Like, I knew like the producers and Steven Spielberg. And,
really?
Oh yeah, dude, I got into it, man. I was deep.
Wow, I didn't tab
it
you.
It was a great escape, man. It was like one of those great escapes.
Yeah, it took you out of your real life for a little bit.
Yeah,
that's what movies are, right? They entertain you for an hour and a half.
Entertain you, man. Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed. I'm going to speak to the people my age. I'm a little disappointed you didn't say a couple movies, sports movies. Sandlot, number one. That's got to be the greatest.
Sandlot is a good. You were a kid watching Sandlot, right? I was pretty much. When did Sandlot come out? I was pretty much an adult.
That's a great point.
Sandlot,
That's a great point. I think it came out early 90s, so I was 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And then Little Big League. Have you ever heard of Little Big League? It's where the 12-year-old, his grandfather owns the Twins. And he passes away, and he passes away, and his grandson, he gives it to his grandson in his will. Gives a team.
Is he the GM, the owner?
So he's the owner, but the coach, and I'm giving you the whole, dude, you need to go watch this. Great movie. Something happens to the coach, don't like the coach, bump heads, and so he decides as a 12-year-old he's going to manage and coach the Minnesota Twins. And so of course they're the laughing stock of baseball, and then it turns out they end up doing. He lost to Ken Griffey Jr. in that movie. Ken Griffey Jr. was everything.
That was your start. That's what
he was. He was in the movie, and they, most movies end with a happy ending, and Ken Griffey Jr. Seattle Mariners beat the Twins in the movie.
Really in the finals?
I think it was like I think it was the playoffs. It wasn't the World Series, but
you were a big Griffey fan growing up.
Oh my gosh, dude. Huge Ken Griffey
You used to wear your hat backwards too, didn't you?
For sure. I did everything. I could do his exact batting stance, like to the
he was lefty.
All the way down where he dug into the dirt. I would do it exactly.
You don't bat lefty.
I didn't do it in a game. I'm just talking about I would sit there and watch his games and have a bat in my hand, and I would
sit there and
sit. Like, I was all about Ken Griffey Jr. But a lot of kids were my age.
Yeah.
Like, you ask 10 kids who are my age, 9 of them would say, yeah, Griffey was the man.
Yeah.
You talked about, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Muhammad Ali would be your one guess. Mm-hmm. Griffey would be my one guess if we could have anybody. So I don't know if you
that's
ESPN
interesting. I just saw Griffey on the
he was at the Home Run Derby last night.
Yeah. I just saw that. So
if there was any way we could get him on in person, would be ideal. But
not Jordan.
No,
not.
I mean, that'd be cool. But Ken Griffey Jr. was my hero growing up. He was the man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he was the.
I mean, look. Trust me. I mean, there was a point in time where he was, the number one player in baseball.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Had it not been for injuries, he would be down as. I mean, he is still one of the greatest, but I mean, he was unbelievable in the 90s.
Yeah, he was
unreal. So anyway, all right. Well, like I said, I successfully turned 3 out of 4 of those back to me.
Yeah, like you always do. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Ben Gibbs Show. Really appreciate it.
You guys have a good weekend.